Hello and welcome, my flat friends, and to the new subscribers to part 17 of this RFEFP series. Decoration. I'm sort of having a little bit of trouble saying that at the moment. I know I haven't made an upload for a few weeks. There has been a lot of sickness in the family, and I've also been out of action for a few weeks, which brings me to this special time of year and decoration and the activity of making something look more attractive by putting things on it or around it, or something that you use to do this. So globes are only meant for decorative purposes and certainly not for educational purposes. And if you were to go to a store or a shop, you may come across globes that actually have stickers that say they are not for educational purposes and only decorative purposes. Maybe you've seen them. Now, Google actually answers because they may actually be out of date. The national boundaries might be changed. The distances might be the only approximately and may lack the accuracy required to be used for education. And this was submitted on the 28th of December 2018. Now, mainstream science explains that globes are more accurate than a flat map because they mimic the true shape of the Earth, and they're able to accurately portray continent shapes and distance between the land masses. So, which one is it? Because for a start, we're only left with the Mercator and the Gulpeter's projections, where Greenland appears to be roughly the same size as Africa. And in reality, Greenland is 2 million square kilometers bigger, and Africa is 30 million square kilometers, nearly 14 and a half times larger. Now, these are facts. So why are these maps shown everywhere? I saw it myself on the news this morning, used as education and as correct representations of the continents and the countries of Earth. So what is the answer to this? The thing is though, folks, all cartographers, even the globe carties, agree that the Mercator map is outdated, it's inaccurate, and is not the best way to represent the world's landmasses. And they've been calling for the use of a new projection since the 1940s. And were actually subsequently given one in 1999, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. However, the biggest insult to cartographers is the Peters projection itself, because it's essentially the same map devised in 1855 by a cartographer called James Goll. Many have recognised the similarity, and you'll often see the Peters map called the Goll-Peters projection. They're just more misrepresentations of the Earth because they're also very wrong. So it's no wonder we've got so many problems trying to break through each layer of the globe mantle when one is talking flat Earth science, debating, or dare I say mass debating, over whether the azimuthal equidistant map is the correct representations for the Earth's continents. As mentioned, with Africa being much larger and Australia being much bigger on the AE map, because she's obviously an island and a continent. Yet the major one is Antarctica, as she is shown as an entire circle wall of ice, with the shelves at essentially the top and the bottom, if you on the side. And this wall of ice, if you will, encloses the continents of the Earth. So the killer question, and to every single person out there who believes that the AE map, the azimuthal equidistant projection, really is a globe on a flat projection, this looks completely nothing like the orthograph world map. As you can see, this projection, since 1999, the orthograph world map is supposed to be the most accurate, the most perfect representation of the Earth and its countries. For all you globe believers out there, this is hands down it for you, the most accurate map projection in existence. According to the mainstream science, the orthograph world map is so proportionately perfect in every way because it magically folds into a three-dimensional globe and was created by an origami expert, a Japanese architect, Hajime Narukawa, and he invented the projection way back in 1999 by equally dividing a spherical surface into 96 spherical triangles, folding it into a globe. We can talk and digress regarding the accuracy of the calculation accuracy of spherical trigonometry over plane trigonometry, but the biggest downfall for the orthograph map is that the longitude and latitude lines are no longer a tidy grid, certainly don't work on a compass, and the continents on the map are repositioned in a way that would be so unfamiliar to a general population who is already geographically challenged. However, there is something else here though. This map, my friends, this orthograph world map, looks absolutely nothing like the azimuthal equidistant projection, does it? Flattened out. Even if we try to circulate, this projection could not look more different. And pray tell, why has nobody ever heard of this map before? Did you? Before watching? Now, it's nowhere in the educational systems here, unless you went to search for it. And why do you think the map gets no mainstream attention or any press releases in any recent times if it is so proportionately perfect in every way? Why nobody has ever heard of it, and certainly not what the phone triangulation or GPS uses to circulate and circumnavigate this plane Earth in a circle, a very large circle, but a circle nonetheless, or any real Earth organisation would adopt this map. Because it's not real. It may be good enough to win a Japanese prize as a clever fooling tool, and finally somebody managed to fold it up into a ball. But it just had to be an origami specialist, as people tend to win quite a lot of things for, this very clever fooling technique. And this is why globes are only meant for decorative purposes, even ones that fold out into a globe. Because very quickly, if we were to go back to the 40s, the creation of the UN logo, the azimuthal equidistant projection, the map itself made 1,000 years ago, but was used as their emblem. When the design consisted of a circular representation of the map of the world and not a globe. The Secretary General subsequently encouraged the Assembly to adopt a design that would become the official seal. And so on December the 7th in 1946, the Assembly approved the modified version of the San Francisco design. Now, do you think they considered using a globe as an emblem? They must have had so many designs to ponder over and peruse through. But this is the United Nations. So the final draft consists of the map of the world on a polar azimuthally equidistant projection, surrounded by two olive branches, and so the map itself created over 1,000 years ago. And the two symbols speak for themselves. The olive branch is a symbol of peace, and the world map represents the organisation in its quest to attain world peace. A map of the world as seen by the only north magnetic pole as a polar projection. This map is for educational purposes. The United Nations and all of its agencies, my friends, they spend around 30 billion each year. The United Nations has 193 member states, all of which pay yearly into the organisation. So they will always use the correct map of Earth. Now, if one was to type in, what is the meaning of the UN logo? And as you can see, word for word, the map symbolises the UN's global area of concern, and the olive branches symbolise peace. The United Nations logo represents the map of our flat Earth. In plain, simple English. Now, obviously, we know Google is not the most reliable source of information, but it certainly serves its purposes for things like this. Now, think of the Earth as the land, sea, and air. And yet, all of the major organisations for the land, sea, and air all use the azimuthal equidistant projection as their symbol. So if you were to think about the land as the United Nations, being the Earth's continents surrounded by 72% water, the sea being the World Meteorological Organization, their symbol is the map with a compass rose right at the top where Polaris sits, kind of perfectly directly below the only north magnetic pole, the polar projection of Earth. Now, this organisation provides details of temperatures and extreme weather events and provides information on long-term climate change indicators, including atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases, sea level rise, and sea ice extent. And finally, the air, which is the International Civil Aviation Organization. So it codifies the principles and techniques of international air navigation and fosters the planning and development of international air transport to ensure safe and orderly growth. They use a pilot's wings on an azimuthal equidistant map as their symbol. So what does one need for more proof of a map when there are three right there? Land, sea, and air. Globes are only used for decorative purposes and maybe target practice, but they are definitely not for any such educational purpose, as the azimuthal equidistant projection really is. Because the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in simply having new eyes. Thank you very much for your time with me here today on this upload. Remember, if you're fighting for the globe and you want a flat map of it, Please stop looking at the azimuthal equidistant projection, trying to convince yourself that this is the globe flattened out, because it's not. You need to go and get yourself an orthograph world map from 1999. You will still be a long way off, but you will still fit in with the sheeple. And maybe ask your friends and family if they ever recognise this orthograph world map. But I'm sure they've seen the UN and the UN logo, because it's there, it's real, and it's flat. Every beauty needs her beast. Thank you. I will see you in part 18. Lots of love and luck to you all. This was Nee B, and I wish you all the luck and love on the world.